Today, we are in Hollywood Studios to dine at Roundup Rodeo BBQ. This $49 all-you-can-eat barbecue feast transports us to Andy's room, and I'm gonna let you know if it's worth checking out. Now, since the last time I dined here, a lot has changed. It's been a few years, and I hear the menu and what you can order is completely different. So we're gonna find out together. I'm gonna give you all the details, show you what it's like to dine here, and of course, at the end, I'm gonna let you know if I think it's worth making a reservation. I mentioned for adults to dine here, it is $49, but for children ages 3 to 9, the cost is $27. This includes bottomless soft drinks, appetizers, entrees, sides, and a dessert, so definitely expect to leave here pretty full. I've always had pretty mixed feelings about this restaurant, but my last visit was a massive improvement, so I'm hoping we continue that trend today. Another thing you can definitely expect at Roundup Rodeo is great theming. Everything from the decor in the restaurant down to the plates is quite impressive. I don't know, am I the only one who geeks out about these plates? I remember the first time I dined here on opening day, I saw these plates and I was like, wow, these are so cool, because they look like paper plates, but they are in fact not. They are like plastic paper plates, but they are so cool. And now that we've made our way inside, another thing I do want to kind of touch on is that this is not a character dining meal, which from the moment this place opened was a little bit controversial. And it's always something that people are a little bit bummed out about. And to be honest, I think this restaurant could really benefit from a meet and greet with Buzz, Woody, Jessie, some of the characters from Toy Story. I think that would help elevate this meal, and it's honestly like the perfect setting for it. You know, we don't have any Toy Story character dining experiences here at Disney World. There's just a lot of like Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy, Pluto character meals. So I think it'd be really cool to have a Toy Story meal, and this would be the perfect place for a Toy Story character dining. Maybe one day they'll add characters, but not for now. So I want to start going over the menu with you guys, because some of our food has already started coming out here. But before we do, we got to talk about the drinks. I mentioned already that soft drinks are included with your meal, so you could choose any one of these guys up here. They also have some non-alcoholic drinks you could kind of add on, some fun drinks up there. And then you could also add on some alcoholic drinks. That Grown-Ups PB&J sounds kind of good. It almost reminds me of like the PB&J milkshake that they have over at the Tune-In Lounge and at 50s Prime Time here. They've of course got some beer, hard cider, and wine that you could add on. I think I'm going to skip all this today, but back to the food. Now they've kind of made this a little bit easier in the menu changes. You don't have to make any decisions these days. You just get everything brought to your table. Well, the only decision you have to make is with dessert, which I'll explain in just a moment. So they start you off with the Prospector's homemade cheddar biscuits with sweet pepper jelly. That is always my favorite part of the meal. They start you off real hot there. Those are so good. And then they bring you off a couple salads to start. You get the tomato salad.
That's the cowbell in question you need to listen out for hours. Because he lets us know what he needs to do. All right, let's see that tomatoes. Ready, guys. All right.
That was quick.
2, 1.
Where is it? I know I left it around here somewhere. Mom! Have you seen my cowboy belt buckle? I can't find it.
Someone dropped a fork.
Yeehaw! It's rodeo time.
Well done, cowboy.
All right. Nicely done, y'all.
Okay, so there aren't characters, but if you couldn't get the hint, there are a couple different like audio cues that are interactive in the restaurant where you're supposed to play along, like the Andy's Coming one that we just experienced today, where you're supposed to pause and hide from Andy. I can't imagine being a cast member here. I feel like that would get very old very quickly. It'd be fun at first, but I feel like it'd get very old very quickly. But back to the menu. Where was I? I think I was on the salads. So you get 2 salads. You get a tomato salad as well as a watermelon salad. Both those are plant-based options. And then moving on down, if you eat meat, you get a platter with house-smoked meats. You get ribs, brisket, sausage, and barbecue chicken. If you do not eat meat, you get a plant-based trio with cauliflower, an Impossible bratwurst, and some plant-based rib chops. And then also, available upon request, you can request some cedar plank saloon salmon. I'm definitely going to request that, so I'll show you guys that as well. And then down here are the sides. So they've removed some of the sides, like the fried pickle pickles. They used to have them when this restaurant opened. They no longer have them. And they used to also make you choose some sides to get. Now, you don't have to choose. They just bring you every single side. So you have slaw, corn on the cob, some grilled street corn it is, slinky dog, mac and cheese. You also get baked beans and potato barrels. And then down here are the desserts. You can see you have your choice of one. You can choose from seasonal cheesecake, which is always lemon blueberry. You get chocolate silk pie, banana cream pie, strawberry shortcake, or a cupcake a la Forky, which I actually found out. It says choice of one, but you could actually order as many as you like. So this whole menu is all you can eat. You can order as much of it as you like. So if you finish something and you want a little bit more, you can order more. Now, like I mentioned, all of our appetizers have made their way to our table here, and I like how they start you off with 2 salads. Those are 2 lighter, refreshing options that are perfect for the summer, perfect for the Orlando heat. And then we've got our biscuits, of course, which I mentioned are probably my favorite part of the meal here. So I think we're going to start with them while they're still a little warm. So these here are the Prospector's homemade cheddar biscuits, again served with a sweet pepper jelly. Just as I'm about to eat one of my biscuits.
It's days like today we're reminded of the toys who look out for us, who protect us, and keep us safe from sin, so that we can play freely in Andy's backyard. So how about it, buckaroos? Let's give a nice big Andy's Yard salute to our Green Army Patrol, who keep us safe around these parts.
Shout out to the Green Army men, but shout out even more to these cheddar biscuits. They're definitely still warm. They've been on the table for a little bit, so definitely shout out to these biscuits. We'll break into it. Oh yeah. You can just tell how buttery they look, and look at all those different layers in that biscuit. You could just tell all those layers, and you could see the little bits of cheddar on the outside there. These are some really solid biscuits, and like I said, I haven't dined here in probably like a year and a half, maybe closer to 2 years, so I haven't had these biscuits in a while, so I'm very excited here. We'll spread some of that pepper jelly on there. I wish they gave you butter with them as well. I'm sure they have some in the back that you could ask for, but this is going to be good. Honestly, just as good as I remembered. These biscuits are just fantastic. The outside of them is so nice and crisp and crusty, and then the inside is just soft and buttery and cheesy perfection. They really have a prominent cheddar flavor, and when you add that pepper jelly on, it just enhances it even more. And definitely beware, that pepper jelly has a good kick to it. And honestly, these biscuits are so good on their own. Like, I don't even think it needs any extra flavor. Like, they're just good on their own, and they're not dry at all. A lot of times when you get a biscuit at Disney, they're too dry. Not here at Roundup Rodeo. You could eat this on its own without butter, without pepper jelly. It doesn't need any extra toppings. I think I probably said this in the last video, and I'm gonna say it again. I wish they served these biscuits somewhere else in Toy Story Land, so you didn't have to come to Roundup Rodeo to get them, because they are so good. I wish I had like a sandwich or something at Woody's Lunchbox on these biscuits, or you know what would be even better? Because they serve breakfast at Woody's Lunchbox here in Toy Story Land, the quick service. If they did like a biscuit sandwich, like a breakfast sandwich, like a bacon, egg, and cheese or something on one of these biscuits, oh my gosh. Imagine how good that would be. And speaking of sandwiches, I'm going to save one of these biscuits because they gave me 2. Of course, I could order more if I wanted, but I'm going to save one because once we get our meat platter, I always like to make a little sandwich because you get like brisket and stuff. We're going to put some brisket in one of the biscuits and do a little sandwich. So I've got to save one of these here for that. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this biscuit, and then it's on to the salads. First, the rootin' tootin' tomato salad. I sound crazy saying that, but this has cucumbers, pickled red onions, and a white balsamic vinaigrette. Speaking of white balsamic, guys, they took away one of my favorite salads on property ever. I just found this out a little bit ago. The Steakhouse 71 chopped salad with a white balsamic dressing was probably my favorite salad on property. I say one of, but probably my favorite salad on property. They took it away. It's no longer on the menu, and I am so sad about it. So reading white balsamic in this salad just got me ridiculously upset. But let's try. I do love a cucumber salad here, and like I love white balsamic dressing, so this should be pretty good. We got to get some cucumber in there, a little bit of tomato. I also love cucumbers, so this should be good. Really good. Again, light and super refreshing. This is like perfect for the summer. It's got to be at least 100 degrees out there right now. So this is exactly what I want to eat right now, to be honest. All this other food is so heavy. All the barbecue and stuff, it's so heavy. So this is exactly what I want from a starter here. The balsamic isn't too vinegary, so it's a little more mild. And there's a ton of cucumber in here, so I love it. Also, you know what else is key with this cucumber salad? The vegetables are still a little bit crisp, so they're not super soggy. I was a little bit worried with that. The cucumbers still have a little bit of crispness to them, as do the tomatoes, so I can get behind it. For our final salad, we have Wheezy's watermelon salad with fresh torn mint. Now, kids might not be interested in trying that cucumber salad, but this is going to be more of like a kid's appetizer. And I know at a lot of like family-style restaurants, they will be able to bring out kids like chicken tenders and fries and stuff. Here, what you see is what you get for kids as well. So these are the kids' appetizers too. So kids will enjoy this watermelon here. And I like that it has mint on it. Again, it should add more of like a refreshing vibe. Except it doesn't. I don't really taste mint at all.
Hey there, Buckaroo. Ham here. Welcoming you to the Roundup
What's going on now?
BBQ. Hit your wagon and reach for the side. With Slinky Dog mac and cheese. It's full of cheese and sure to please. Slinky Dog mac and cheese with a spring in your step. Here's Roundup Rodeo.
Just an advertisement for the Slinky Dog mac and cheese, which we'll be digging into soon. And I love how they gave me these tongs. I'm eating right out of the bowl because it's just me here, guys, but I love some watermelon again. Perfect on this hot summer day. So I do really like these starters here. The two salads are just super basic, but they're good and they're perfect with these biscuits here. All right, guys, wow. All of our other food has arrived, and you can see we have got a ton of food. We've got our 3 sides. Well, actually, there's more than that. There's some sides in there as well, but we've got 3 sides. On the side, we've got our slaw here, which looks to be more like a almost vinegary kind of base slaw. We've got our tater tots here, or as Disney likes to call them, potato barrels. Over here, we've got our Slinky Dog mac and cheese, and then in here, we've got even more. This is our street corn, our baked beans, and then we've got all of our meats. You can see our chicken, our sausage, which, if I'm remembering correctly, the sausage is my favorite meat here. Underneath the chicken, hiding under there, we've got our ribs, and then over here is our brisket, which I must admit, guys, looking a little dry, but I guess we'll dig into all of our different meats. Oh yeah, and we've got our 3 barbecue sauces here, which I didn't mention in the beginning, but we've got 3 different barbecue sauces. We've got spicy, we've got classic, and we've got sweet. So in order to decide which one we're going to use for our barbecue, I feel like we've got to start by trying our 3 different barbecue sauces. I guess let's just start classic here. We'll put a little dollop on the plate, see how it tastes. I'm assuming this is just going to taste like classic barbecue sauce. Are they sure they didn't switch that up with the spicy one? Because that one has a little kick to it. Now I've got the spicy one to see. I mean, I like spice, so. I mean, the spicy one has a little bit of a kick as well. But why do I feel like the classic one is a little bit spicy too? Am I going crazy or what? I like spicy, so like that's fine with me. Okay, now the sweet one looks more like your regular barbecue sauce. This one's looking like the Sweet Baby Ray's. The classic and the spicy one on the plate look like actual, like maybe potentially house-made barbecue sauces. I don't know if they actually are, but the sweet one looks like Sweet Baby Ray's. Again, I don't know if it is or not, but it tastes like it too. I don't know, guys. The classic and spicy taste too similar to me. You know what? I feel like I gotta dip something into them to really tell. I'm gonna dip a tater tot into them. So I guess we'll start our meal by trying these tater tots. Again, I keep messing up. They're potato barrels at Disney World. Classic. I don't know, guys. Now spicy. I can't taste the difference, but what I can taste is that these potato barrels are really good, really crispy, seasoned well. I mean, they're the same potato barrels that you could get everywhere at Disney World, right outside at Woody's Lunchbox. And even though I can't taste the difference between these two sauces, I think they are both quite good. They both have a good tang. They both have a good spice, if you will. So yeah, I like both the sauces. I like the tater tots. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Actually, I know I'm definitely right. But these used to be like loaded tater tots. I think they used to have a green goddess dressing on them. So that's definitely different since the last time I came. They used to be more of like a loaded tater tot. Now they're just plain tots, which I think you used to be able to get them plain before. But now you don't have to ask for them plain, and they just come plain on their own. So I guess it's a little bit more kid-friendly now, but yeah. I guess they made it a little bit easier on themselves with that one. But that is definitely the first change that I am noticing that. And on the topic of sides, like I mentioned, we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sides. And sides, for me, are the best part of barbecue. So I do like that they're giving you all the different sides here. And while they did take away some of the sides that you are able to choose from in the fried pickles, and I can't remember what else they took away, I do like that they still have a ton of different sides, and they do give you all of them. I think you were able to order all of them before, but now you don't even have to like choose them. They just bring you all of the sides. And like I said, sides are my favorite part. So let's taste test all of the sides here first, since we already got to the tater tots. We'll go with the claw veggie slaw here next. This is actually a plant-based coleslaw, and like I said, it's looking to be more like a maybe vinegar-based slaw. I see some carrots in here. I think we're gonna have to pause again. Let's get a bite before we do.
Yard sale. Guys, hold your horses. There's a yard sale. Roll call. Yeah. Billy. Go.
All right, the first customer is approaching the driveway. Placing money in a jar for something cold and yellow. It's a lemonade. We've got a lemonade here.
Lemonade stand? That's not a yard sale. And you must be fundraising for charity. Oh, how sweet.
Okay, I actually really like this slaw. I have no idea what just happened in here, but I actually really like this slaw. Nice and crunchy, a little bit sweet. It's good. Not like a creamy slaw. Like I said, it's a plant-based slaw, so I don't think it has any mayo in it. But it's a good slaw. Next, I want to get to this Slinky Dog mac and cheese, and this is the second change that I'm kind of noticing here. Didn't this used to have goldfish on it? I'm pretty sure the last time I came it had goldfish on it too, but no goldfish anymore. It's just a plain old bowl of mac and cheese. So we'll dig on in. I always love the noodles here. I don't think I've ever seen these like long squiggly noodles. I don't know if I've seen these anywhere else in mac and cheese, and that's always my favorite part of this mac here. I know some people like freak out over this mac and cheese and they really love it. I think it's just okay. It tastes like Kraft mac and cheese to me, which Kraft mac and cheese isn't the worst, so it's okay. But for a barbecue style mac and cheese, I wish it was a little bit better, you know? But that pasta noodle does make up for it a little bit. I am missing the goldfish though. I like that little bit of crunch that the goldfish on top, the crushed up goldfish kind of added. And I'm kind of sad that they took that away. I can't remember if it was here last time I was here or not. I'm pretty sure it was. I think with barbecue, we should have more of like a creamy or even a baked mac and cheese would be nice here. There's just not enough cheese sauce in this. I need my mac to be a little bit creamier than this. So it's just okay. It tastes really processed, really fake. But clearly, I don't hate it because I'm still eating it. Since we're going with the sides, I feel like we should just continue with the sides from our little platter here. And like I said, we've got 2 sides on our platter in the street corn and the baked beans. So let's dig into these baked beans here. I see a little bit of meat in them, maybe some brisket, maybe some burnt ends. Yeah, big chunk of meat here. It almost looks like a chunk of fat though, if I'm being honest. Let's dig into these beans though. You know, I never really used to like baked beans as a kid, and recently I've been enjoying some barbecue baked beans. Guys, the flavor at first was good, but then I swallowed a big piece of blubbery fat. I should have known. I saw this one piece of fat in here, but I didn't know there was another. But oh my gosh, the big chunks of meat in here are mainly just very fatty pieces. I'm assuming of brisket or pork belly. Here's another chunk. Okay, this chunk of meat is not fat. That chunk of meat I can do that one. But when I got that first chunk, when I got that first forkful, oh my god, I just like swallowed a big chunk of fat, and it was not pleasant, but the flavor is good. The beans are nice and soft. They're a little sweet, and I really like that you could actually taste like a smoky flavor almost. Like, I don't know if these beans have actually been smoked or not, but if they haven't, they're fooling me because they taste like they actually have. They have a great smoky flavor. So beware of pieces of fat, but if you can get around them, if you can pick around them, if your beans have them in there, the beans are pretty decent. And for our final side, we've got the cowpoke corn on the cob, which is a grilled street corn. Now, this is actually coated in some sour cream. It looks like cotija cheese and some other seasonings. And at first, I asked my waitress, I was going to ask her to just bring me like some regular grilled corn on the cob, because I was assuming that the sauce on the street corn here was mayo-based, but it's actually not. It's a sour cream-based sauce, so I was definitely very happy to hear that. I never usually get to enjoy street corn, but here at Roundup Rodeo I can, so I'm excited for this. And wow, I'm definitely glad I'm getting to enjoy this corn here, because this is probably the best side on the table. I'd even say this is probably the second best thing I'm eating today outside of the biscuits so far. This is the second best thing I've eaten. Flavors are all really good. I really like corn, so that could also be it. But the flavor here is really good. The cotija cheese on the outside is nice and salty. It almost has maybe a little bit of like tahini or something on the outside, so that adds a nice flavor as well. But yeah, this is a solid street corn. I don't get to have street corn often, so when I do, I always enjoy it. And this is loaded up with all that cheese, so yeah, it's a great salty corn on the cob. I'd say this and the slaw might be my 2 favorite sides, honestly, which is kind of crazy for me to be saying, because slaw usually isn't my thing, but it's just so good and crunchy and refreshing, as is this corn. Really good street corn, honestly. Guys, I almost forgot. We still have all of this meat to try. I'm getting a little bit full, and we've only gotten to the sides, but we have ribs, chicken, sausage, and brisket to try still. Oh my gosh. And I gotta try the salmon for you guys after. I guess we'll try this sausage here first. This is a nice grilled sausage. Like I said, I remember this being my favorite meat on this platter in previous visits, so I hope it's as good as it was last time. The flavor on this is really, really good. I love the flavor. Smoked well. The one thing I do wish is I wish it was charred a little bit more on the outside. Like, you see, it could have a little bit more charring there. I like a charred sausage, whether it's a hot dog or sausage. I always like it to have a little bit more charring, and I feel like this definitely could here. But the sausage itself is super flavorful, super juicy, and it has a really good snap to it. So I definitely enjoy this, and I think it would go really well with like that spicy barbecue sauce too, or the classic one, since they taste the same. But on to our next meat. Which should I dig into first? Let's go ribs. Let's go ribs. And you know what? I like that these aren't like super saucy ribs here. They don't really got any sauce on them. Okay, smoke ring there. I prefer dry barbecue to sauced barbecue, so I definitely appreciate that. We've got a pretty decent bark on the outside. You can see a nice like crust out there, so. Are those ribs the best I've had? No, but am I enjoying them? Yes. They're pretty sweet for not being like coated in sauce, but I actually like the sweet flavor on them. Like I said, that bark has a good smoky flavor as well. They're not going to be like fall off the bone ribs if that's what you're expecting, but they are tender. They're not going to be like ribs that you have to gnaw on to get the meat off of. Like the meat is going to come off nice and easily. Don't come here expecting like fantastic ribs, but they are decent. Like I feel like you'll be able to enjoy them for sure. They're actually better than I expected because I did not remember how they tasted, but they're definitely exceeding my expectations. So I'm definitely happy with them. I didn't think I would like them, to be honest, because I'm usually not the biggest fan of ribs, but they're good. What is scaring me though is this brisket. This looks like a dry piece of roast beef, especially this side. I mean, you know it's not going to be good when it gives you, brisket should just like fall right apart when you go to break it. It shouldn't give you any, you know, I shouldn't be able to kind of pull at it like that. It should just fall right apart, and it just looks very, very, very dry. So I'm going to try a little bit on its own, and then we'll dip it in some barbecue sauce. It tastes like, it tastes like dry roast beef. I taste no smoke. It literally tastes like deli roast beef. Let's dunk it in some barbecue. I'm mixing all these barbecue sauces left over on my plate together. This needs all the flavor it could get. And it is still not good, to be honest. I feel like Disney has a rough time with brisket. This isn't the first time that I've had really bad brisket at Disney. Disney just struggles with it. And here is no different. I really do not enjoy this. I think both the sausage and the ribs are just so much better. And just like the quality of both of them is just so much higher than the quality of the brisket. You're just getting a thin, I would rather eat boar's head roast beef. So onto the chicken. We'll break this apart here. This is like a smoked piece of chicken. We've got a good amount of seasoning on the outside there. It looks to be nice and juicy. I hope it is. I needed this redemption after the brisket. The chicken, definitely juicy. The flavor on the outside from that skin is really good, and the flavor actually penetrated into the chicken itself too. There's some white meat here, and it's very, very juicy, very flavorful, very tender, and very good. Quite impressed by this chicken as well. I don't remember if I enjoyed all the meat as much as I did this time around here, but all three of the meats, other than the brisket, have been very, very good here so far. So,
Come in, wranglers! Andy is approaching the rodeo! I repeat, Andy is approaching the rodeo! Drop your lassos and assume your positions! In 3, 2, 1!
It preserves no match for the bravest rangers in the galaxy and the Wild West.
I've got an order here for Mrs. Davis.
Oh, right, Pizza Planet. Mom, dinner's here.
Well done, cowboys!
chicken's good. And remember, I wanted to make a brisket sandwich with my leftover biscuit. I definitely don't want to do that anymore, so I will just eat the other half of the biscuit that I saved on its own. Well, as full as I am, guys, we still have one more thing out of the entrees to try. The salmon, the cedar plank saloon salmon. Again, this is something you have to request. They don't just bring it to you. You gotta just ask your server. If you do have 2 people, you can each request a little piece of salmon, come served on a cedar plank, and it looks like it's coated in maybe some type of barbecue glaze or something. Again, it looks to be like pretty juicy. We'll cut into this piece here, flaked apart really, really nicely. I didn't expect this to be cooked so well, but it's really nice and juicy. Doesn't have too much flavor. It's a really light coating in that sauce. It definitely has a little bit of a barbecue, almost like a teriyaki kind of glaze. But overall, the flavor is super light, not seasoned very well, but cooked well. So if you enjoy salmon, I mean, I feel like salmon tastes good like on its own. So you don't really need to add much. Like, I could enjoy salmon without seasoning for the most part, but seasoning and sauces just add flavor to it. So I enjoy this, but you could definitely use a bit more flavor to make it stand out. But it's good, and I just like that it's cooked well. So I like that they have this option to add it. It kind of adds a little bit more value to the meal, you know? I like that you could get some seafood here. But now we are finally on to dessert. I feel like we have just eaten so much food, but we still have more. Now remember, with dessert, it is kind of all you can eat. However, you just order one thing at a time. And I kind of asked my server what her favorite thing to order was, and she said the banana pudding, but I couldn't really decide between the banana pudding and the strawberry shortcake. Those are 2 of my favorite desserts. I love both of them. And she was actually so kind to bring me both. So we've got both to try. Usually you just get one, but I'm sure if like you couldn't decide, they just bring you 2, because after you order the one, you could just order as many as you'd like. So you are able to try all of them if you want. But we've got 2 here to try, the banana pudding as well as the strawberry shortcake. Now these 2 are actually new desserts. I hear the banana pudding has replaced the apple pie. Actually, they used to have an apple pie here. And actually, look at how small these are. These are very tiny. These are like actually shot glasses of desserts. So you probably will be able to eat more than one if you wanted to. But the banana pie replaced the apple pie. And then the strawberry shortcake, which is, I believe, the plant-based option, replaced the strawberry and peach pie. So we've got 2 of the new desserts here, which I haven't tried before. So we'll see how these are. We'll start with the shortcake, which I am quite impressed because there are actual vanilla beans on top of this whipped cream. Like, I could see the black little specks in the whipped cream, which I didn't really quite expect, but looks good to me. Very, very saucy as I'm digging into this. There's a lot of like strawberry sauce. It's very liquidy in there. And that strawberry sauce is very tart, very sour. But this whipped cream, that whipped cream on top is really good and has a great vanilla flavor. Like, you can taste that vanilla in there. Definitely could use a little bit more cake, and that cake is so saturated in all that berry sauce. It's just okay. It's not great. And then we have our banana pudding. You can see on the bottom we've got a little bit of a graham cracker crumb action. And then on the top, our cream. In the middle, our banana pudding. I don't know if we're going to have any fresh bananas in here. I don't think so. Your classic fake artificial banana pudding. But I personally love that. So I could get behind this. I do wish instead of the graham crackers, there were maybe like some Nilla wafers kind of layered between and some fresh bananas. Like, maybe like they couldn't do like full bananas, but maybe like some chopped up bananas as a layer. But still, I like that artificial banana pudding. And that's exactly what this is. So it's okay. It's not great, but it's good. Okay, another meal at Roundup Rodeo BBQ, and I think, again, we have improved quite a bit. Now, don't come here expecting award-winning barbecue or even barbecue that is, I would say, above average, but it is pretty average barbecue. It is average barbecue that you will, for the most part, enjoy. Keep in mind, you are in a theme park. This is not going to be barbecue that is super memorable, I do think there is better barbecue at Disney World in Polite Pig at Disney Springs, but that is, at the end of the day, a local restaurant that was brought into Disney Springs. The barbecue there is far better, but for inside a theme park, for all you can eat barbecue at $49 for all the sides, all the meat that you get, I don't think it is the worst deal. And when you compare Roundup Rodeo to the other restaurants in Hollywood Studios, I would say it's probably closer to the top of the list than towards the middle or the bottom. It's not saying much because the restaurants here in Hollywood Studios are, for the most part, pretty awful, but Roundup Rodeo here in Hollywood Studios is definitely one of the better restaurants in this park. Would I still prefer to go to Woody's Lunchbox? Yes. Would I still prefer to grab a Ronto wrap? Yes. But if you have a kid or you yourself really loves Toy Story, I think it's a fun restaurant to check out every once in a while. It's not somewhere that I would feel the need to go to every vacation or every time I come to Hollywood Studios, but it's fun to go to every once in a while. And again, I don't think the price is too bad for what you're getting. So the all-important question, is Roundup Rodeo Barbecue worth the reservation? There's a couple factors that play into that, and I think if the answer is yes to any of the following questions, then it is probably worth the reservation for you. Are you and your party going to want a full, heavy, all-you-can-eat meal during your park day? Are you and your party going to want a couple hours break in the air conditioning at a table service restaurant? Do you or anyone in your party really enjoy Toy Story? But I personally am glad that I, again, gave Roundup Rodeo Barbecue another shot today. Like I said, I, for the most part, enjoyed my meal, everything except for that brisket. Oh man, that brisket was not good. It's gonna haunt me for a while. But thank you guys so much for checking out this video. Thank you to everyone over on Patreon. I appreciate all of your support. If you enjoy honest Disney food reviews and you don't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see ya in the next video. Bye guys.